Utah legislation and how to really understand how things happen and be really educated as we are working towards helping good bills or stopping bad ones. And so we want to see, so House bills, kind of walking through first the steps of how a House bill gets passed. It begins, of course, being numbered, and then it gets assigned to a House committee by the Rules Committee, and we'll get into that a little bit later. This is just a high-level overview, and then we'll have, if anybody has any questions going along, let me know. So it gets assigned to a committee, and then it goes to, after, if it passes the committee, well, of course, if it, go back to, so if it fails, it stops right there and doesn't go any further. And if it passes, it goes to the floor to be voted on by everybody. And this is the process 9 times out of 10 throughout the session until you get to the last day or two when they suspend the rules and they skip the House committee and they just do a floor vote. Okay? But generally speaking, it goes to the committee, and then if it passes, it goes to a floor vote in the House, and then it goes to a Senate committee if it passes, and if it passes the Senate committee, it then goes to the Senate floor to be voted on, and if it passes there, it then goes to the governor where he can sign it, he can veto it, or allow it to become law without a signature. And then the Senate is very similar, where it starts in the Senate committee, passes, it goes to the Senate floor, passes there, then it goes to the House committee, then it goes to the House floor, and then if it passes, it goes to the governor to be passed. So now we ask the question of who's in charge of deciding which committee a bill goes to. Okay, so how does it automatically go to? It's, you know, if it's about education, does it automatically go to Education Committee? The answer is in the House. It's chosen by the House Rules Committee and especially the chair. And this is a list of who is on the current Rules Committee in the House. The chairman being Tim Hawks. This is his contact information. And so this is important for everybody because this guy doesn't have to assign every bill to a committee. A bill can actually die after being numbered right here. If he doesn't assign it to a committee, it's dead. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get voted on. It's dead. And so he's in a very powerful position. He can make sure and push through good bills and stop bad ones, or vice versa. He can push through bad bills and stop good ones from going anywhere by even preventing it from allowing to get a vote.
Hey, Ben, so can you clarify, when it goes through the process, it goes to a committee in the House or the Senate,
right?
No matter where the bill starts, just a different order depending on where it starts.
Right.
Does it always go through the chair?
Correct.
So if it starts in the Senate, it'll still go through the House chair. If it starts in the House, it'll go through the House chair first.
Correct.
Isn't there somebody that can force a bill to go to vote without hitting the committee?
Correct. That's what they do. They do what's called suspending the rules. And if they get a voice vote to support that, they can go straight to the floor.
Now, how many people do they need to do that?
It's not actually like it's by acclamation. And so if the House, the Speaker of the House or the President of the Senate thinks that a majority supported the move or opposed it, then he makes the decision. And then somebody has the opportunity to challenge, and then there's a actual accounting for the votes. So yes, it can break those rules. And so this guy right here is somebody we should all have his phone number and email in our system, and so that we can contact him to kill bad bills or to push through good ones to friendly committees. And then in the Senate, it's the Senate Rules Committee chair. This is a list of everybody on that committee. It's interesting. It was Deidre Henderson, and now it's it's David Buxton. And this is his contact information, so we should have his information as well. You are placed as the president of the Senate picks who's assigned and what position they hold in a committee. So it's the Senate president that picked him to be that, and to be the Speaker of the House picked who the chair of the committee is and the members of the committee.
Now, if the president of the Senate just hates you and you get in the Senate, then can he just not put you on any committee at all?
I think everybody's a part of some committee. I could be wrong, but you just won't be a chair or a vice, any kind of leadership, and you're like put as a minority in that committee.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if you don't get put on a committee, what do you do? These rules are just goofball.
Yeah.
Who's talking?
Kevin. So you can see if you're a chair or vice chair of especially this committee, the most powerful committee is the rules in both places. And so you are an establishment man, basically, if you are the chair or vice chair of that committee. And probably likely to be in all the other committees as well. So, but those are names that, we can get bad people to do the right thing. So we need to make sure and have that information on us to contact those people, because they can make or break good and bad bills. So to follow legislation, of course, we go to le.utah.gov, which brings up this website. And as we go on to the website, we follow a bill. We click on that link right there, bills, and that'll bring us to this page. And if we want to, of course, follow the current legislation, we click on the 2019 general session. And when you click on that, it comes up to this, of course, a list of bills. And just picking a bill at random, you click on, there's a bill that I'm following. There's a gun bill. Click on, it was, what is it? You scroll down to, I think it was 80, what is that? Oh yeah, 87. So you scroll down to that part and you click on, we want to follow that bill, just as an example. Just using one bill, the same principle applies. Safe storage of firearm amendments. Okay, you want to click on that one. Of course, the first thing that pops up is the text of the bill. You can read through it. And if you want to understand the bill, so we'll scroll down to the page, and we can see just regular text. There's no cross through, there's no underlines. That means that's what's in the current code. Okay. Now we see what's crossed out. It's what would be deleted if the bill was passed. And then if it's underlined, this is new language that's not currently in code, but would be added to code if the bill passes. Okay. So sometimes people that are novices will read a bill and they'll think every word of it is new, and they'll be like, wow, okay, this is crazy stuff. Well, some of that crazy stuff was already law. So we need to make sure what we're saying is new language, new law, or being crossed out and taken out of code. So let's see here. We go back to, if we want to follow a bill and its status, there's a couple of options. You click on the status of the bill. So this one, because it's still early on in the session, doesn't have a whole lot. It's not even assigned to a committee yet, for example, right? So, but what I want to do is go through and show what would happen if it's assigned to a committee. So we find out the committees are right here. There's a link on the home page to get a list of the committees, which takes us to this page. And just as an example, we're going to click on the House Judiciary Committee. We can follow what's going on with that. So we know our bill is, I don't know if that other bill is because it's not assigned yet. Well, let's just say, for argument's sake, that it's sent to the House Judiciary Committee. So we click on that, and it brings us to this list. And it says meetings. When are they meeting? And right now, there's nothing scheduled yet. Okay, but the next thing we can do is we can find out who's on the committee, because those are people that we want to contact. Because just like the Rules Committee chair, this committee has the ability to kill a bill or to push it through. So you find out who's on this committee, and then you can contact the people that are on this committee and tell them to vote yes on the bill or no on the bill that's in their committee. And let's go back to last year, kind of showing how this is the full, what we talked about before, the full life of a bill. It gets introduced, it gets a number, the Rules Committee assigns it to a committee, and that committee votes on it. So we want to find out if this bill in particular was amended, and it was introduced to be amended. And we want to see, okay, it was a 9 yeses, 0 nos, and 2 not voting. So we have, these are the names of the people that voted yes, nobody voted no, and these are the people that didn't show up. So that gives us an idea. We can, if these guys are our legislators, we can hold them accountable on their committee votes as much as we can hold them accountable for their floor votes. Because a committee vote, some people will say, well, I oppose this, but I think it should go to the floor. That means they're lying because they have the opportunity to kill a bad bill. That's what it's there for. But sometimes they'll say that they oppose it, but they want to get a floor vote. That means that they are going to vote no on it, but they know it'll pass. And so they'll get it to go to the floor vote. So now let's again go to the list of committees and look at the House Education Committee. Okay. They now again have no meetings yet this year. I don't know. I must have put that slide out of order, but let's go back to here. Okay. So now it went to the floor vote, to the Senate, passed all the committees. Now it went to the Senate and it passed 69 to nothing. And this is a list of everybody that voted yes on it, the no votes, and the nobody. So this is last year, and so we see the black ones are people that aren't in the House or not in the House anymore. And so that's why there's no hyperlink. The blue ones are hyperlinks to their pages. So that's what that means. So now how do we find out who our personal legislators are? Okay, we go again back to the homepage, le.utah.gov, and we click on this menu bar, which will then pop up this options, and we click on the arrow for legislators. And then this pops up and we click on find by address or map, which then leads to this menu, and we type in our address, and then we click on find. And then once we type in our address, we find out who our legislators are. And so it pops up, this is where the address is, and this is who our House member is and who our senator is. So if you click on that, our House member, it goes to their page, and you can get their contact information, the committees that they're on, so you can follow what they're doing. And then additional information. This is a list of their bills that they've sponsored and their conflict of interest form, so you can find out more about your member of the House. And then we click on the member of the Senate, and it says the Senate website's done a little bit different, so it looks different, but basically the same information, their committee memberships, their contact info, their conflict of interest form. And so we can make sure, and we're working, we have their information, and we can make sure and continue to hold them accountable. And with this information, we are on track to being able to take on these guys, right? To make sure and hold them accountable, and to be able to let others know what it is that they're doing.
This Defending Utah broadcast is brought to you in part by K-Talk Radio AM 1640, Black Lotus Web Development, blacklotuswebdev.com, the United States Constitution Made Easy to Understand by Dr. Lonnie Crockett, available at the Defending Utah Liberty Store, Shem Financial Services, 801-856-6151, Trust Plumbing, 801-808-5470, Higher Calling Firearms, highercallingfirearms.com, Pioneer Family Scholars, American Appliance, 801-254-2566, and Anderson Accounting, 801-225-0396. And Dr. Jeremy Thompson Dentistry with Go New Smile, gonewsmile.com, GONUSMILE.com.